little earlier, the magistrates only hear the cases that get to court. They don't have any say in what does and what doesn't. What has this got to do with the magistrates?
But surely...
What has this got to do with the magistrates?
Nothing, really.
Well, get off then. Next time, get your facts right. How do Keith? No, it's not. No, it's Polly. How do Polly?
Alan, I would like some serious advice on a problem with my next-door neighbours who are buying their house off the council. The problem is the garden and their fence is 1 inch away from my front door. Their door is well away from their garden. They have and are allowing their dog to use the garden to do its dirt in, and the muck has been left for 4 months. I've put lots of things down to keep the dog away, but it does not work. The garden is
Hold it. Is it in your garden or their garden?
It's in their garden, right next to my front door and away from their front door.
Nothing I can do about that. The dog's allowed to crap in their yard.
Yeah, no, it's just stinking and all blooming flies and everything are coming in my house.
I'm sorry about that. Get some fly killer.
Alan?
What?
Alan, where did the word love originate from in tennis?
I have no idea.
I bet no one else has neither. All right, love.
Someone will have, but thank you for the question. I suppose we should say, all right, nil, not all right, love. Ta-ra.
Bye-bye.
If anybody knows the answer to that, because I'm intrigued also, I'm sure it'll be in my dictionary, but I've not got it with me tonight. But if you know where the word love originated as a score for 0 in tennis, then ring and tell us on Preston 56 1000. How do Keith?
All right, Alan?
Yes?
Yeah, on Thursday, I had a big argument at work with the foreman, right? And we get paid on Fridays, right? And on Friday, he'd come round with wages, and they refused to pay me. Are they allowed to do that? I mean, I did have a fight, well, a slight fight with foreman, you know.
Why have they refused to pay you? Presumably you asked.
Yeah.
What did they say?
I asked why.
What did they say?
They just said they're holding on to the money for the sake of the compensation to what I did to the foreman.
Well, in that case...
I broke his nose, you know, but that shouldn't have anything to do with my wage, should it?
Technically, no. And what I suggest you do is tell them that if they do not pay your wages to you immediately, you will sue them in the court.
I mean, it's not just my wage.
Do you want the advice, or do you want to prattle on like a divvy?
No, I'm not a divvy.
Well, don't behave like one.
No, I'm listening, right? It's a
what did
point,
I... Listen.
It's not just my
What
wage.
answer did I give to you? What answer did you just get?
Ask them.
No, and then what? You don't remember, do you? Because your gob was going instead of your ears. Get off! I don't do things twice for divvies.
It's back to school with Slaters for massive stocks of school uniforms at low, low prices. Why pay through the nose when Slaters stock the lot? Fully lined washable blazers from $11.99. School shirts from $2.99. Trousers and skirts from $4.99. And ties and socks from 69 pence. More choice and lowest prices at Slaters. Branches at Preston, Wigan, Ashton in Makerfield, Lee, Bolton, St Helens and Warrington. Make sure your child goes back to school with Slaters.
Please listen to my ditty. It may not be very witty, nor even slightly funny, but it will help save you money. For me, from cradle to grave, I aim to shop and save. I buy out I need, for next to nought indeed. There's meat and veg and cheese and pigs and booze and clothes and cards and sweets and pigs and pet food and household things. So shop and save a load down Blackpool's Waterloo Road, in the market they call new, and Overt Road the M2. Thank you. Poetry in prices, from the New Market and M2 Market.
It's the place to come, where shopping can be fun. The Newmarket Waterloo Road.
For your new e-registered Austin Rover, look local and deal direct with Hay Houses. At the busiest time of the motoring year, you'll find we still have time to prove to every customer that Hay Houses really is the company that cares. Hay Houses, motoring on the Fylde, Alexandria Drive, St Anne's. Phone 713838.
If you're a singer, musician or band with a really good sound, then enter the 7-Up Search for a Star competition 1987. We're looking for refreshing, original new sounds. If you're looking for a top professional studio recording by EMI Records, plus lots of terrific musical equipment prizes, then check out the 7-Up Search for a Star competition. If the music's original and you don't have a current recording contract, then send a cassette and photograph to 7-Up Search for a Star, P.O. Box 14, Hawley, Surrey.
Hello, Steve.
Oh, evening, Alan. How are you?
Very well. What do you want?
I was one of your views on something that I happened to think about some time ago. I was the occasion was I'd probably been drinking a little too much wine, which you probably don't approve of. But I think as on occasions like this, when one tends to have thoughts which you think are sort of very profound, and I'd just like to try out on this one. I happened to be thinking one night that most of the problems in the world are caused by that half of the world, or possibly three-quarters of the world, who tend to expect more of their fellow individuals than of themselves. And I happen to also be thinking that you can sort of classify the world into good or bad, stupid or ugly, beautiful, ugly, intelligent, stupid, or whatever. But basically, there are two sorts of people in the world. There are those sort of people that I've just been talking about who are expecting, expect other people to do things for them. Or you've got people who get on with their own lives, who don't expect other people to do things for them, who just simply mind their own business. Now, I mean, okay, you may say, where's this argument leading? I just think it's quite an interesting way to sort of to try to look at people and to try to classify people.
It's an interesting way to look at them, rather like putting your hand over one eye. I think it's a pretty naive way of looking at them.
Okay,
For example,
well,
I would classify myself as one of those people who doesn't expect anyone to do anything for him. But having said that, when I turn the light on, I expect light to arrive, and I don't know how it gets there. I presume it gets there because someone's doing something for me, so I do expect them to do something for me in order that I can turn on the light and the light comes on.
Okay, that's a very fair point. I'm really thinking about when I'm describing people. I'm thinking of people who are always expecting people, other people's behaviour, if you like, rather than the job they do. I can think of certain people who go into certain professions, maybe politicians, maybe police. Certain people drift into certain professions because they're that sort of people, because they're people who want to administer other people.
Yes, there are people who have desire to be in control of other people's lives, or parts of their lives.
Right, well, basically this is what I'm going back to. I'm saying...
Well, you can categorise people into those that wish to be in control and those who have no wish to be in control of others.
I'm saying that throughout history, the people that cause problems in this world, if you like, this is being very, very naive, very simplistic, the people that cause problems in this world have always been those who are interested in controlling other people's lives.
Oh, I couldn't argue with that. I don't think that's simplistic and naive. I think it's succinct.
So you could almost say that the people that should get to power are those, but probably this is a sort of a contradiction in itself. The people that should get to power are those people who, and I like to think I'm one of those people, who are only interested in getting on with their own lives.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure where this argument's leading.
It's not leading anywhere. It's one of those unfortunate facts. The people such as yourself who have no desire to lead would probably be the better leaders, but unfortunately would never be the leaders. And because people like you, and to a certain extent me, are not prepared to attempt to lead, we end up with substandard leaders. We end up with people who have some kind of personality defect, so much of a personality defect that they actually eke out their own satisfaction or seek their own satisfaction by manipulating others.
Right.
So only loonies lead.
I'm just wondering whether there's...
The managing director's not listening. He'll be leading me to the dole office.
I'm just wondering whether in this, therefore, we've reached a certain measure of agreement here. I'm just wondering in this there's a germ of an idea of like-minded people. I mean, you might say that the sort of...
Well, you could always vote for an SDP politician, because they can't lead anyway. You never make their mind up.
Well, I was just coming on to this. This is
I thought you might be somehow.
Eh?
I thought you might be somehow.
Well, I'm just saying this seems to be a problem. The sort of people like this, in the recent experience, everybody says, oh, they're very fair-minded people, but we don't think they're really not worth voting for.
Well, unfortunately, the truth is now out that they're not as fair as they thought they were. David Owen is just another gangster, along with the other crackpot David Steele. I must admit, I met a gentleman who astounded me, because he astounded everybody by getting elected as the Liberal MP, or the Alliance MP, if we must still perpetuate the joke, the Alliance MP for Southport. And I met him on Saturday, and he's a decent bloke, and a politician. Well, there's a contradiction in terms.
I don't think it's possible.
Quite. There must be something about him that's weird. But he seemed a reasonable chap. But I have met politicians that seem reasonable people, and then they turn out that they're politicians, and you realise it's just a front. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Steve.
Cheers.
How do, Gary?
Well, I'd like to talk about low pay, please.
Go on.
Well, when you go on the job centre, you see lots of low-paid jobs, such as £55 a week ones and £60 a week.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go after these, you go and see the woman and she's going through and all that. Even they're gone. And I think it's disgusting the way people have got to work for £60 a week, £55 a week these days.
So do I.
Well, I think there should be a legal minimum wage.
So does the Labour Party, but
well,
not enough
they did
people.
get elected, but like there is in Holland, there is one there, isn't there?
I've no idea. I've never lived in Holland.
Yeah, there is one in Holland. I think a couple of other countries as well. And,
there are certain countries that have got minimum wage. I think Sweden's got a minimum wage also. But our country appears not to want it, because they had ample opportunity to vote for such a policy with the Labour Party and chose not to.
You mean the Conservatives did in Parliament?
I'm sorry?
You mean the Conservatives did in Parliament had opportunities to vote for it? Was the bill passed through, was it?
No, they had the opportunity to vote for it at the last general election that happened about a month ago.
But that was only one part of the election baggage, wasn't it?
It was only one part of the policy, and so perhaps Labour have got to examine now the policies they put forward and see which ones that, in their view, cause the public not to vote for them.
What I can't understand is the most important thing, like a job to survive, is you're protected against everything else in society, robbers and all that. There's laws to protect you. But in regards to going to work, how come there's no laws? You get these rip-off managers, these shop owners and all, rip people off for very low pay.
You are protected to a certain extent by the principle that if you're not working, you will receive some benefit. It's not very much, but you're protected against starvation. So there is some protection. We mustn't be totally critical.
Yeah, well, that's starvation, but the £55 a week is ridiculous, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I've already agreed with that. It's a distinctly low wage. However, there are those that argue that it's not a low wage at all. It's a fairly high wage.
Why don't the Conservatives change it? Why don't they change it?
Clearly, because they don't want to.
Well, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Well,
that's all I've got to say.
Well, the reasons they don't want to may well be quite sensible, but they clearly do not change it because they do not want to.
I suppose it's to save money and being more competitive with the foreigners, foreign countries, but...
Quite possibly. A wage is either big or small, depending on whether you're getting it or paying it.
Yeah, I'm not getting it.
So it would seem. How do, Anthony?
Hello, Alan. Yes, I phoned up to talk about your job. See, me and my friend were arguing the other day about that your people phone you up to talk to you about, like, to ask your advice, and people phone up to argue. And we were saying that if you lost your job, I mean, you could lose your job. I mean, friend was saying that you could lose your job if you lost an argument. And that's why you're always right. Is that true?
Well, no. I very much do. I do lose them occasionally. But I wouldn't lose my job if I lost an argument, unless it was the argument with the boss trying to keep me job.
No,
if I lost that one, I'd lose the
he
job.
Was saying, like, because that's why you always know, like, cut people off when you think, like, that you're losing the argument.
But the question I've got to address is, or that you've got to address, is how do you know if I'm losing and I cut them off? How do you know?
Well, it's when you're listening to an argument, when we listen to the show regularly, when we're sitting up, and then, like, we think, when we're talking about it, we say, well, they're arguing, and if we think that they're getting the better of them, most of the time you cut them off, see?
Well, you've already changed your position. A few seconds ago it was always, now it's most.
Yeah, well, that's what most of the time you cut them off, and if you don't, you win the argument yourself at the end of the day. You're right.
But ultimately, I'm always right.
That's what I mean.
I cannot lose. When you think about it, the objective of this programme, you might see it as entertainment. I hope you do.
Yeah.
That's the company's objective, and to a certain extent my objective. But that is secondary to my real objective. My real objective on this programme is to make money. That's why I'm here. That's why this is work to me. Sounds silly, but this is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
So my objective is to make money. So each evening I achieve my objective. Each evening that I work on this programme, I achieve my objective. I get a wage. So I cannot lose. Every conversation I have contributes to my wage.
Yes, okay, thanks. I just wanted
All right.
to know if you would have got, like, not the sack, like, but, you know...
No, it doesn't
rather
matter.
low
The
rating
boss,
and things like that.
the bosses don't even listen to this programme.
Okay,
Proved by the fact that I'm still doing it. All
Okay,
right,
thanks.
cheers, ta-ra.
Bye, ta-ra.
Whether you're considering a Citroen, Lada or Ford for E-Day on August the 1st, give the rest the big E for John Wilding. Right now, John Wilding is getting all excited by offering truly exceptional deals on all 3 of these makes, along with extremely low finance on selected models. You'll always guarantee John Wilding's excellent after-sales service too, and exceedingly generous part exchange allowances. So see how easy John Wilding makes buying E-Reg cars with Citroen and Lada at Banbury Garage, Westgate Morecambe, and Ford on the A6 Gar Stand.
Fed up with spending a small fortune on hotel holidays year after year? Tired of touring caravans? Well, join the people in the know and invest in a static caravan from Westfield Caravans. A static gives you spacious luxury at a low cost. And where better to choose a static than Westfield Caravans? Because we're dedicated to statics and only statics. So our reputation rests on perfection in our field, so to speak. You'll feel at home with Westfield Caravans at the end of Mowbray Drive, Blackpool.
Old Mother Shipton made a prediction how people would shift their rubbish one day. They said she was batty, a little bit scatty. Now everyone uses the Howard's way.
It's R&W Howard's Skip Hire for the best price in the area. Contract work our speciality. No job is too big or too small. Call R&W Howard Skip Hire on Lancaster 67051.
Hire a skip the Howard's way.
Hello, John.
Hello, Alan. I'd like to talk about being a superhero. It's a hard job, you see, and I want to know, me working for Law and Order, above the law and order, is this illegal what I do?
Depends what you do.
I am a superhero vigilante. I work for Law and Order, above Law and Order.
Laura who?
I work for Law and Order, above Law and Order.
Oh, aye.
So I go out, I catch the perps and the criminals.
The what?
I catch the perps.
What are they?
Perpetrators.
Oh, I see, yes, very good.
Who perpetrate the law.
I thought it was like AIDS.
Oh, no.
You don't perpetrate the law, you perpetrate crimes, divvy. How do, Ian?
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
I'd like a little bit of advice on something. I'm on bail, and I've been offered to go on a holiday in a few days because someone's dropped out. I wonder whether it's worth me applying for the passport, like,
Well, when's the holiday?
on Thursday.
And the chances of you getting a full passport by Thursday are pretty slim anyway. The passport offices have got some kind of dispute going at the moment. What do you mean worth applying for a passport? Do the terms of your conditions forbid you from leaving the country?
Well, I'm not sure on that.
Well, you'll have to find out.
Yeah.
Have you got a solicitor?
Yeah.
Ask your solicitor whether the terms of your bail are that you cannot leave the country on holiday.
All right, I'll go
Okay.
and see him in the morning.
That's the best bet.
I'll be on the plane on Thursday then.
If you've got the right to.
Right to what?
The right to get a passport to get on a plane.
No, because I'm taking 2 inches off the bedroom door.
Why are you taking 2 inches off the bedroom door?
Because it doesn't shut on the carpet properly.
Oh, I see. And you think you need a passport for that?
No, a plane.
Oh, I see. It's a wooden door.
Yeah.
I see.
It
Was that
wasn't
a joke? Was that a joke?
Yeah.
Was it? It's funny.
Yeah.
I always thought Scousers had a sense of humour, but clearly not.
Yeah.
How do... John?
Hello, Alan.
Yes?
Hello. I hear that Red Rose Radio is going to be floated on the stock exchange later on this year.
I hear the same thing.
Yep. Is it possible to get buy the shares in them?
It will be once
Prior to them being floated, as it were.
I have no idea.
In the flotation.
I have no idea.
Do you know who we can find out from?
Yeah. Go to your bank or to a stockbroker and ask them to find out for you. The current situation is that it's not a listed company. We are going, I'm told, I don't know, the business side of Red Rose Radio is too complicated for me, but I'm told that in the autumn, Red Rose Radio will be launched on what is known as the unlisted stock market, the USM.
Yeah.
Now, more than that, I do not know. Sorry, unlisted securities market, my apologies. Now, what that means exactly, I'm not sure. But it does mean that shares will be generally available to the public if they wish to purchase them. At the moment, if you wish to purchase shares, you've either got to buy them off Red Rose Radio if they have some to sell. The company itself may well hold... I don't know, but the company itself may well hold shares, should we say, on file for selling.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, you'll need to find someone that wants to sell, someone who already has some shares who wishes to sell them. Now, it is unlikely that any individual who has got shares in Red Rose Radio and has held them for a reasonable length of time is likely to want to sell for financial reasons, because they're going to be much more productive in terms of revenue if they sell after the shares have been launched.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a successful launch, inevitably. So, I would say you may have some difficulty. But of course, stockbrokers specialise in finding such people. And they charge a percentage, I think 2 or 3%, with a minimum payment of 60 or 70 quid, I suppose. So if you want to buy some, that's the way to find out. It might be more productive to write to the company secretary here at Red Rose Radio and ask him if there are any shares available for purchase.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, thanks so much.
It's as simple as that. I even thought of doing it myself and then came to terms with the fact that I don't believe in share ownership, so it would be difficult. But if I work here, then I go debating with myself again. Tracy, I'll be with you soon.
Please listen to my ditty. It may not be very witty, nor even slightly funny, but it will help save you money. For me, from cradle to grave, I aim to shop and save. I buy out, I need, for next to nought, indeed. There's meat and veg and cheese and pigs and booze and clothes and cards and sweets and pigs and pet food and household things. So, shop and save a load down Blackpool's Waterloo Road, in the market they call New, and Overt Road, the M2. Thank you. Poetry in prices, from the New Market and M2 Market.
It's the place to come, where shopping can be fun. The Newmarket Waterloo Road.
It's back to school with Slaters for massive stocks of school uniforms at low, low prices. Why pay through the nose when Slaters stock the lot? Fully lined washable blazers from $11.99, school shirts from $2.99, trousers and skirts from $4.99, and ties and socks from 69 pence. More choice and lowest prices at Slaters. Branches at Preston, Wigan, Ashton in Makerfield, Lee, Bolton, St Helens and Warrington. Make sure your child goes back to school with Slaters.
Now, in this quiz, I'll give you names beginning with Mac. You tell me what they're associated with.
Right, lassie.
MacArthur.
A general.
Correct. Macbeth.
Shakespeare.
Correct. MacDonald.
Beef burgers.
Correct. McGuinness.
Scottish milk stout.
Correct. McCaskill.
The rotten weather.
Correct. Macmillan.
Audi and Volkswagen.
No, I have a famous Prime Minister.
You can have what you want, but in Bolton, Macmillans are famous for motor cars.
Really? Audi and Volkswagen?
Correct. You give Macmillans a ring on Bolton 31464. They'll sort you out. They're on Blackburn Road, and they'll save you pounds. Hey, Macmillans.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's
Ian Lonsdale.
He's the Peter Pan of radio, the flying presenter, and about as aerodynamic as a melon. But he's doing it. He's really doing it.
Ian, they said, you'll be famous. Your career will really take off. You'll make a big splash, they said. And where are they sending me? The Birdman of Blackpool competition. Yes, Muggins is going to jump off the North Pier on the 9th of August, but I haven't got a costume, so I want you to design one. A drawing will do, which we'll have made up. The judges are looking for originality, but I can tell you I'm looking for a certain amount of airworthiness. First prize is £50 of tickets to the Blackpool shows, and second prize is £25 of tickets, donated by First Leisure Corporation. So get scribbling and send your designs to me, Ian Lonsdale, Red Rose Radio, St Paul Square, Preston. Closing date for entries the 24th of this month.
Lonsdale will do anything to get famous. The trouble is he never will. How do? Tracy.
Hello, Alan. I want to talk to you about something that happened last year. I went into hospital in November for a DNC and a sterilisation. And I came out, I'd had an hysterectomy. And ever since, about every 3 weeks, I'm suffering from these bouts of depression. And it's terrible when it's happening. And it's it's interfering with my relationship with my husband and everything. Only I don't know where to go or what to do about it. I just can't talk to anybody.
Where have you been?
I haven't even gone back for me. The check afterwards, after the operation. I haven't even gone back for that. I just don't seem to have any confidence in the doctors at all.
Well, you better not go back.
Pardon?
Well, you're not going to cure it by not going back.
I know, but I don't know. It's not very. He just says that. I mean, I went back.
What does your own GP say?
I went back to see him. You know, you go.
What did you say?
I didn't tell him about the depression because it was soon after, only a couple of days after. You know.
Well, have you been since?
No.
Right. Well, when are you going to go? Tomorrow?
Oh, I can't talk to him.
Well, fine. In that case, stay as you are. It's what it comes down to. You get a choice in life. You take it or you leave it.
I know, one minute I want to go and next minute I don't. It's my husband I feel sorry for.
Well, fine. Tracy, no one can help you unless you ask them.
But what will they do?
I've no idea. I'm not a doctor, otherwise you wouldn't have to go to the doctor. That's what he's for.
Well, I've
or
wrong
she.
you see, we're being an ex-nurse, you know.
Well, I was a nurse. That doesn't enable me to tell you what a doctor will do, does it? So what you need to do, first of all, is go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you've got no chance of getting it right.
But will they be able to put it right?
I've no idea. The doctor will tell you.
You know, we're making a boo with the operation and that. I don't think, you know what I mean? I don't think to...
Well, what I do know, what I know for certain, is he won't be able to put it right until he knows what it is, and he won't find out unless you tell him. So we'll never know. So it's up to you. You either go to the doctors or you carry on as you are.
No, okay.
It's as simple as that. It sounds hard, it sounds rough, but it's a hard, rough world.
I know.
So you either do it or you stay as you are. Okay?
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Make your appointment tomorrow. Okay?
Okay.
Good.
Thinking of changing your hi-fi? Call into Lang Video Audio at Crumpton Street, Wigan and Nersley Street, Bolton, the North's leading part exchange hi-fi specialists. Ring Wigan 323-897 for details now.
Why do people from all over Lancashire travel to Unit Design for bedroom furniture? Quite simple. Unit Design's choice has to be seen to be believed. There's more finishes, more colours and more trims than ever before. And everything, apart from the furniture's free, including free estimates, design service and fitting. That's why people from all over the Northwest come to us time and time again and tell their friends. The prices are special too. Phone Unit Design on Blackpool 48983 or call in at Unit 4A, the Sycamore Trading Estate, Squiresgate Lane, Blackpool.
The Great Red Rose Radio Charity Nutty Night Out is at the Ginn, that's Ginn Square, Blackpool, on Thursday, July the 23rd. Come along and challenge our presenters on the pool table, throw darts at Allan Beswick's photo, and have a go at the crazy games and competitions. We start at 8, and the evening is one of our 7-Up party nights. There are plenty of 7-Up and Thwaites goodies to be won as well, and the whole night is in aid of the Winged Fellowship Trust, the charity which provides holidays for handicapped people in Lancashire. So don't forget the Red Rose Nutty Night Out at the Ginn in Blackpool on Thursday, July the 23rd.
Oh, what an atmosphere. I love a party with a happy atmosphere.
I'll do Peter.
Hello, Alan. You were talking about earlier on about free will. Well, my view of free will is you've got two buttons and there's a bomb attached to it. Now, if you don't, you've got to try to defuse this bomb. If you don't defuse it, you're going to die somehow, I don't know how. But you've got a choice. You can cut the red button or you can cut the blue button. Now I think that's where free will drops into line, because the brain comes to an end of the line. It doesn't know, it can't eliminate one from the other.
That doesn't answer the point that our previous caller made. Our previous caller wasn't saying that free will was the ability to have a range to choose from. What he was saying, that for the will to be free, there has to be no way of the brain has to be able to make its decision without reference to its past, and that isn't possible. The brain will make its decision. If it ends up you've got to cut the blue wire or the red wire and there is no other information available, you will make the decision on the basis of which colour you prefer or which colour you hate the most, but it will be based on something. However irrational, it will be based on something.
Well, how do you know it won't be based on free will?
It will not be based on free will. It will be, well, you will make the decision, and in order to make the decision there has to be something to motivate that decision, and the something is the history of the brain.
Well, how do we know that decision isn't free will?
We know it isn't free. It is a pure academic argument,
yeah.
But the argument being put by our earlier caller, and one that bears a lot of weight, is that the brain will not make the choice because the brain cannot make the choice. The brain is just a machine, very complicated, a very intricate machine, but nonetheless a machine. And it will do what is the inevitable thing to do when the information is fed into it. And it will do it on the basis of all the impulses flying around in there for the last 39 years, very nearly in my case. Right?
Okay.
So it will be an inevitable decision. It will not be a free decision. It will be an inevitable decision. However, we can't work out what that decision will be.
No, because hopefully we won't come to a decision like that anyway.
Hopefully not. But I've just come to it about you and you're getting the blue light there. See? How do Steve?
Hello, Alan.
What do you want?
The answer to the origin of the word love in tennis.
Go on.
It comes from the French love.
Love?
Love.
That's what Maurice Jamil's always on about. Love is a many splendid... He likes tennis. Go on.
Love for egg. And if you touch your index finger to your thumb, you get a circle, which apparently in France is a symbol for egg and also the symbol for nothing. And it's the corruption of the word love down to love in English.
So it's earth.
Love.
There you go. Well, thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
I don't know whether I believe it, but I liked it.
It's true, it's true.
I've never met a liar yet that said this is a lie, other than me, because I do that all the time. I'll see you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
L'œuf, it comes from the egg. Because if you pan it, well, doesn't everything come from the egg? How do, Maureen?
Hello, Al.
Yep.
I don't know whether you remember him or not. His name's Bobby. He asked me to ring you up, and he asked me to ask you, do you still eat the Mars bars?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Well, he wants to know, someone said you put weight on. So I don't know whether he's listening in down me now. He lives down the road from me. And he said to me, ring him up and ask him, does he still eat Mars bars?
Well, now you've asked.
Hey, Al.
What?
I'm dead skinny, you know. I'm about 8 stone, and I should be 9.5 for me height. I've tried all sorts to put weight on, and I've just got some big fat red tablets off the doctor. And he said to me, take one of them with the white one. The white one's 3 times a day, and the red one's once a day, right, to put weight on. Now, I tried them last year, and I can't put weight on, but my Uncle Bobby said, if I ask you, will Mars bars put weight on if I eat as many as you do?
They might do, you never know your luck. Give it a try. How do, Wayne?
I'd like to speak about Derek Hatton, please, Alan.
Go on.
People painted Derek Hatton as a militant supporter, but the point of the matter is, have they followed Derek Hatton, not as a militant
Well, let's not
supporter.
get mauled about all over the place. Do you think he was a supporter of militant or not?
No.
No. Why did he say he was?
He hasn't said he was.
Hasn't he?
No.
Oh.
I've been
He said he wasn't a member. He didn't say he wasn't a supporter.
Well, when people say he's
Well,
not a
is that
supporter-
statement true that I've just made? He's not a member, but he is a supporter.
Well, some people say he's a supporter.
I'm asking you. Is he a member? No. Was he a supporter? You tell me.
No, he's not a member, and he's not a supporter.
So you're saying he doesn't support the view of militant at all?
Well, doesn't everyone
Does
support the view of militant? Doesn't Neil Kinnock support some things that they say?
I don't know.
Well, he does.
I'm not talking about him. So are you saying then that...
No, what I'm saying-
are you saying then that Derek Hatton is a supporter of militant?
Only as much as other people who
Well,
aren't.
is he or isn't he? Just answer the question. Is he or isn't he a supporter of militant?
Well, not all the things they do.
I
no.
just simply want to know the answer to the question. At the end of the day, you have to decide yay or nay. Is he or isn't he?
No.
No. And is that on the basis that he does not support every single thing they stand for? Really, is it or isn't it?
Yeah, he does support some things they stand for.
Let me ask you the question again in the hope that you answer it. You're not Derek Hatton, you're not clever enough to outwit me, so you might as well go my way rather than yours. Here is the question again. Are you saying that the reason you answered he was not a supporter of militant is because he does not agree with their policies 100%?
Yeah.
I thought you were. Do you think there are any members of militant who do support 100% every single thing they believe in?
No.
No. So in other words, there is no such thing as a supporter of militant by your definition.
Well, there is if you're a member.
Well, no. We're not talking about member, we're talking about supporter. That's all. Membership we can sort out. That's straightforward. You either are or you aren't.
Yeah, he's a supporter now.
So he is a supporter now. He wasn't a moment ago, he is now. I wonder what changed his mind. How do... Nigel?
How do, Alan? I'd just like to talk about, follow up what the bloke was saying about canvases. I think, wrong in saying, canvases, if you had your way, you like to get rid of them. Because, you know, I'm a supervisor myself at a kitchen firm, and without, you know, going quite deep in the depth, and without, you know, canvassers knocking at your door, how would you, you know, yourself have a kitchen at this present moment?
How would I have a kitchen?
Yeah, at this present moment.
I would have no problem buying a kitchen. The bloody place is cluttered up with kitchen shops.
Yes, I understand that part.
Well, I don't need so much. Honestly, when I go into that room at the back of our house, and I turn the oven on, and I look for a pan, I've got a kitchen. I'm there. I'm in the kitchen. I know I am. I don't need you to come in and tell me. Just like I don't need you to come in and tell me I need insurance or I need double glazing. I've got the wit to work out in my tiny little mind that I either need a kitchen or I need insurance or I need a new dog for me tag or a tag for me dog. I don't need a half-brained pillock who can't get a decent job and sells the crap at the door because nobody will go and buy the bloody stuff off him. I don't need that in my life. I don't need half-wits like you who sell products that are so garbage that no one would ever buy them unless they were shoved through the bloody letterbox. Canvassers don't give a free service, they give me a pain in the bum. And you get on my nipple ends as well. That's half my body surrounded by your puerile, infantile stupidity. Stuff your canvas in. Apart from that, you're all right. How do, Brian?
G'day.
What are you on?
You must excuse me, I'm just home on leave.
I don't have to excuse anybody, just tell me what you want.
I fly aircraft, and the only thing I'm going to say to you is I was flying over Cone day before yesterday, and someone has actually put a CND, how can I put it? Someone has actually put a CND haymaking job. I'm gobsmacked.
Why? If somebody wants to make hay in the sign of a CND or in the image of a CND sign, why can't they? Why should that upset you?
Well, it doesn't really. I fly Jaguars.
So? Why are you gobsmacked?
Well, I mean... Anyway, forget it.
Well, why are you gobsmacked? Why does it bother you? I don't think I want you flying Jaguars over our house if that upsets you.
Well, I mean, you know, you fly under radar and all that jazz. And to fly over that, and somebody's actually taking the time to put a CND.
Well, why not? Why does that upset you? I thought you were fighting for freedom. I thought you were ruining the neighbourhood by flying your noisy planes all over the place for freedom. Well, he's got the freedom to do it. If freedom gets on your nipple ends, get out the RAF. You're dying for the wrong thing.
Well, okay.
You haven't got the bottle to take somebody else's opinion, eh? Perhaps I should be Russian. Maybe you could shoot me down then. Goodbye. I'll do line 1.
Hello?
I'll do Andy.
Hello?
Yep.
You played a record by Les Barker a few days ago, Saudi Sydney.
Yes.
And you told me to ring, right?
I didn't tell you to ring.
Well, you just said if you want to know where to get it from, like, to ring up.
No, I didn't.
Well, I want to know where to get it from.
Tough. That's not what I said.
Well, what is it you said?
Write and send a stamped self-addressed envelope.
Is that
Obviously
it?
not paying attention.
Right. Is it Mrs. Ackroyd Superstar?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one where it's on.
Yes.
Because I've ordered it already. I just
Good.
wondered if it...
Good. You've ordered it. What do we need all this prattling for? How do Tanyetta?
Oh, hello, Alan.
Hello.
Well, I'm called Miss Tudor. I wouldn't say I'm 21, but I'm not too over the hill. I fell in love at first sight. Now, I just don't know how to handle this.
Well, it depends on how you want to handle it. I can tell you which bits to handle.
Well, I would very much, but this fella's married.
Well, I suggest you keep your hands to yourself then.
But he's lovely.
Well,
I've not been able to eat. I've not been able to sleep.
oh, well, it sounds like love if it's ruining your life.
I'm shaking.
You're shaking?
All night I've been...
Well, now's the time to get hold of it.
All night I've been playing my Peter Skellin record.
Oh, dearie me.
Oh, it's just... I just don't know what to do with myself.
Have you tried gas?
Gas, Alan. I touched him at 3 o'clock on Saturday, and I've never been the same since.
Oh, my word. Well, it sounds like he's not awfully well.
He is well. He's fit.
Fit?
He's fit.
Well, now I know I'm in the clear. I haven't been fit for years. Thank you very much, Tanyata. Well, you don't sound like you're all there. Maybe you're just a 9-yetter. 10-yetter, 9-yetter. I wish I was dead. I'm going home. Let's have an ad.
Just what you need. What's that?
It's a new one-stop discount shop now open in Preston.
Oh, yeah. And just what do I need?
Household goods, day-to-day things and that sort of stuff.
But what about the prices?
Just how you like. Low.
How low?
Very low. Just what you need at the top of Fishergate, next to the cinema, Preston, and also at Cleveley's.
It's about 1 minute and a quarter to 2. You don't know why that music disappeared, do you? It's because I had to get out of this delay mechanism. It doesn't half confuse me, you know, it gives me an headache. We're going to be a bit busy this week. On Thursday night, we've got the Nutty Night Out. It's all in favour of the Winged Fellowship Trust. It takes place at the Gin. That's a pub in Gin Square, Blackpool. And next Sunday, It's Your Turn comes live from the Pleasure Beach in Blackpool. It's all part of the Phillips Road Show. Come along and have a look at the new style light bulb. I don't believe there's a new, I don't know. The boy knows nothing. And next Monday there's a coffee morning with me. Come and have a chat. All in favour of Dr. Bernardo's at Coffee Time. That's a cafe, that. At 13 Bowl Street in Southport. See you somewhere anyway. I will of course be back tonight at 10. And a new voice. New from, well, not very far away from here, over a few years ago. Anyway, Mike Day will be with you, 2 till 6, standing in for Derek Webster, who's standing in for Paul Fairburn, who's standing in for his holidays. I'll be back, of course, tonight at 10. Till then, have yourselves what can only be described as a good time, and don't do any of those things that people usually do in their pyjamas at this time of night. Ta-da!
The 2 o'clock news, this is Bill Bingham. 900 Frickley miners have called off their pickets of other South Yorkshire pits. The striking miners have bowed to a union plea not to cause trouble before a national ballot on industrial action. A councillor has resigned in the wake of an official report which says pensioners at a London old people's home were the victims of cruelty and neglect by the staff. Elsie Headley, who was head of social services at Southwark Council at the time of the allegations into the Nye Bevan home, says she objects to staff being set up as scapegoats. But Council leader Anne Matthews says staff accused of mistreating old people face the sack.
The recommendations are that a number of staff should no longer be employed by this authority. The Council needs to follow its normal disciplinary procedures against each individual before any action can be taken. There is no excuse for that sort of treatment of the elderly.
A group of Merseyside MPs is meeting the Home Secretary later today to try to stop 26 Liverpool football fans being extradited to Belgium to face trial for rioting and murder at Heysel Stadium 2 years ago. They fear that if Douglas Hurd signs the extradition agreement, the group could spend 2 years in jail waiting for a court verdict. Richard Bestick reports from Westminster.
The 26 are alleged to be the ringleaders of the riot, which killed 39 people in the Heysel Stadium. If the Home Secretary signs a surrender warrant, they return to Belgium to face those charges. Eric Heffer and the other Labour MPs will tell him today he shouldn't sign, and if he does...
At least I would hope that the government would be prepared to meet the relatives' fares all the way to Belgium and also help them to have accommodation when they visit them and so on and so forth.
The MPs claim the 26 won't be given a fair trial because of the emotion of the issue in Belgium. Richard Bestick, IRN, Westminster.
A Falklands War hero is today selling the George Cross he won for bravery at Christie's in London. Able seaman John Dillon was awarded the honour for rescuing a fellow sailor aboard the HMS Ardent, even though he was badly wounded himself. But now John's left the Navy, and he says he needs the £3,000 to £5,000 he hopes the medal will bring to pay for training as an electrical engineer.
I don't really look at the medal much. I mean, it was sitting in that cupboard there for about a year. I never took it out or anything. It's the citation that reminds me of what I'd done, and I think that's the most important thing.
Dynasty star Joan Collins and her estranged husband, Peter Holm, have met in a Los Angeles judge's chambers after he asked them to make one more attempt to settle their nasty divorce privately. But Holm is refusing to back down from his claim of £50,000 a month to keep him until the divorce settlement is worked out. Now Joan's lawyer, Marvin Mitchelson, says new developments mean the case is sure to go to court. Here's Ian Brodie.
In a last-ditch meeting with both teams of lawyers and the judge, Joan Collins has offered Peter Holm a £100,000 lump sum to drop his claim for massive monthly support payments. Holm says he won't settle for anything less than £600,000 in a lump offer, and vows to continue his fight. The Dynasty star and the 40-year-old Swedish rock star seem set to spend a long, hot summer fighting over money in the divorce courts of California. Ian Brodie, IRN, Los Angeles.
Independent Radio News.
And the window on the weather, it'll be a dry night with the lowest temperature at around 12 degrees Celsius. It's going to be a dry day, although there may be some cloud at first, but this will give way to sunny periods later. The expected temperature is around 19 degrees Celsius, which is about average for this time of the year. That's your window on the weather, brought to you in association with Croft Replacement Windows and Doors. And a very good morning to you and welcome along to Nightline. It's Mike Day with you through from now until 6 o'clock. Sitting in for Derek Webster once again. Nice to have your company. We've got a couple of quizzes for you. We also might even do a competition for you to win a prize later on. You never know. Not just yet, but a little bit later on. We have got some great music for you though, so I hope you'll stay with me through the wee small hours.